And there! Oh sorry, you know, I really enjoy the Super Smash Bros. Series. The combination of brawler and fighting mechanics always appealed to me, as there was a lot more freedom to the combat rather than it just being about memorizing combos.
Caniper! Stop the show! I have something important to tell you.
Wait, Captain Neon Flash? I'm kind of in the middle of a Super Smash Bros. Melee review here.
There's no time for that, Caniper. You're a Digimon.
What?
And as a Digimon, you have to review Digimon Rumble Battle 2!
How am I a Digimon?
Well, you can Digivolve, of course!
Evolution. DNA charge! Overdrive! Digimon.
Canipamon Digivolve into Canipatrimon.
Oh come on, not again? Well fine then. Step up to the stage, Digimon Rumble Arena 2, and let's see... shit, I forgot my line. Step up to the stage and... Oh! If you amaze me! Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is a brawler-style fighting game developed by Bandai Games where the focus is on free movement, rather than combos. Now you've probably already donned your pitchfork, stormed over to the decrepit ruins of Bandai Games and started yelling, "Smash Bros Ripoff!" Before you start branding Digimon as a mere Pokemon ripoff, let's talk about the difference between ripoffs and inspiration. A ripoff is a carbon copy with very minor changes in gameplay mechanics. For example, Dream Heights, the Facebook management game by Zynga, is a ripoff of the mobile game Tiny Towers. That's because the game mechanics are hardly changed and Zynga didn't really add any unique creative elements to it. However, on the contrary, the Rumble Arena series is inspired by Super Smash Bros. This is because whilst the games may be very similar in how they play, Arena uses that as a basis and then builds upon it with new ideas. So put those Molotov cocktails down and let's continue. In this review, we'll be looking at the Gamecube version, but it's also available on the Xbox and PS2. And of course, there's only one way to review a game on the Caniper Show, and that's to break it down. As I explained earlier, the gameplay of Rumble Arena 2 does resemble Super Smash Bros. Quite a bit, though it adds so much that they are two completely different experiences. While Smash Bros. Has the balance between both ground and air combat, Rumble Arena focuses on the ground, and the game is built around that. There is no air dodging, and all air attacks are designed to get you back down to the stage. This allows for faster gameplay, despite the maps being very large. That brings me to one of my problems with the game, the maps. Yes, I know, not everyone is a 1v1 me FD no items sort of guy, but there should have been a more balanced map for those sort of people. Every map in Arena features a lot of stage hazards, meaning that whoever loses a game is going to feel cheated and will probably get their dad to beat up your dad. But don't get me wrong, these maps can be a ton of fun, and each one changes up the flow of the gameplay in their unique ways. I would just love to see more balanced options added to the very small stage library. But I've been talking about Arena like any other game. I almost forgot, this is a Digimon game. So how does the franchise affect the game itself? Digivolutions. Yeah, that's a real word. That's also what makes Battle Arena 2 so fun to play. As great as it is to play one character and use the same skills over and over again, the ability to change forms to turn the tide of battle is amazingly well done. Whilst the Digivolve Digimon are quite similar to the base characters, they are all different enough for you to change up your playstyle, giving these battles an element of scale. I really wanted to say that the Digivolution element sells the game on its own, but the method of Digivolving slows down the gameplay and discourages legitimate tactics. To Digivolve, you need to collect these blue orbs and fill up your Digivolution bar. Sounds good, right? Wrong. These orbs fly out of an enemy when you hit them, so when you attack, you're most likely to collect them, right? Kind of. Physical attacking, yes, you are most likely to collect most of the orbs. Projectile attacks though, no. Since your opponent can pick up these orbs and use them to fill up their own bar, if you are using a ranged attack, the chances are that your opponent will collect them all and digivolve very quickly. It's just lazy design and had me calling bullshit multiple times. Oh, and speaking of calling bullshit, let's take a look at the playable Digimon. When you first boot up the game, you get a choice of 11 digivolvable characters, all designated with the colour blue. Then as you play the single player game, you'll randomly get attacked by shiny Digimon. Wait, can I not say that? Well, they're pretty much the same. I would like to apologise for the comments I made against the Digimon franchise. These secret Digimon are designated with the colour green. Then finally you have the red enemies, who are unlockable bosses. These are the problem. They're overpowered as hell. If you invite friends over, you don't want to have to say, you can pick any character you want, except for all the powerful ones, because that kid's just gonna pick long arms. And as we all know, if you play as long arms, you've pretty much already won. The stages in Rumble Arena 2 are all based around the environments featured in the Digimon Adventure series. These environments have been condensed down to a series of stages and they're all very well done. The idea behind the Digimon Adventure series is that there's the real world, which is all high tech, and the Digi world, which is very back to nature with wild environments. So the high tech menus are meant to reflect the real world and the in-game stages are reflecting the Digi world. That's clever. Maybe most people won't notice something like that, but that's some real attention to detail. When I pick a game to review, I like to know a lot about where it's coming from. So to prepare for this review, I watched the first few episodes of the first and third Digimon seasons. First of all, the third season, known as Digimon Tamers, is really freaking good. Secondly, from watching the anime, I learnt about the values and ideas that Digimon encompasses. Of course, there's the epic battles that I'm sure we all loved. However, there's also this very strong value of friendship. These kids go into an unknown scary world, but it's okay, because they have their Digimon friends who will always stand by them. Whilst I understand that Rumble Arena 2 is a fighting game, that has never stopped some developers from introducing some character and narrative to a game, and I would be interested in seeing some of the human characters and the Digimon's personalities represented in the game. The controls to Rumble Arena 2 are very similar to the Super Smash Bros. Series, with some distinct differences. While Smash allows you to jump using up on the thumbstick, Rumble Arena only lets you use the Y button. However, whilst you might think I had a problem with this, it actually felt very natural after playing for a short while. The controls overall were very responsive and I had no issues with them whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just listening to the amazing music. This is one part of the game where I am massively impressed. Bandai knew that fighting game music should be fast-paced and exciting, and they really showed that with some great electronic tracks. I can't find an official soundtrack anywhere, but there are plenty of places to download it online, something that I highly recommend doing if you can't find an official source. As well as the music, I also love the voiceovers. Hearing Ginnamon shout out his name like in Digimon Tamers was really cool, and I'm really happy that they kept the voices the same. You're going to get a lot of playtime out of Rumble Arena 2. Whilst the game only comprises of 20-minute single-player games, to unlock all the characters and stages, you're going to have to go through all 6 of these. But that's not all the playtime you're going to get. The appeal is in the multiplayer. You are going to want to invite all your friends over and completely destroy them until they turn off your console because they're fucking sore losers. Although, even without having other people, I had a lot of fun just going into practice mode, turning the game speed on to fast, and just playing for about half an hour. But it seems that we've said all that we can, and all that's left is the final score. Okay, start the music. The scorecard music. Rumble Arena 2 is very fluid and encourages you to develop your own combos and playstyle. Although the characters are very similar in movesets, there is enough variation so that they play differently. However, the small stage library and the clumsy method of digivolving stops me from enjoying this game to its fullest extent. I gave the gameplay a 7. The stages look beautiful. I really love the attention to detail with the menus and the overall style of the game. The graphics get a 10. The Digimon in Rumble Arena 2 are represented very well with environments from the series itself and the Digivolution mechanic. Although I do think that they could have represented more than just the battles. The appeal gets a 9. The game controls perfectly, although there were some key differences from Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I've played a hell of a lot. I was able to adapt to the control scheme of Rumble Arena 2, and in some ways, I prefer Rumble Arena's controls. I gave the controls a 10. And the sound is absolutely amazing. If you enjoy electronic music, then there are some tracks here that you might enjoy. The sound gets nothing less than a 10. Now that's a whole bunch of good scores, but how do they rank up in the final score? Rumble Arena 2 is a massively impressive game that I just want to love, but there are a few things that just puts me off about the game. I really want to see the new Namco Bandai take on a Rumble Arena 3, because I feel that with another shot, they can get the Rumble Arena formula perfect. But for now, I give Digimon Rumble Arena 2 an 8.5 out of 10. Whilst it is not nearly as deep or competitive as games like Super Smash Bros. Melee, there's a lot of fun to be had here. If you are a big Smash Bros. Fan, I would recommend giving Rumble Arena 2 a try. It's an experience that I think any fan of the genre should try, regardless of whether they're a Digimon fan or not. So that's the end of the review. Now, Neon, how do I go back to normal?
I have to knock you unconscious.
Oh, okay. Wait. Thanks, I guess. A special thank you to Captain Neon Flash for appearing in my video, recommending this game to me and saving me from a life as Kanapa-chan Mon. Click the annotation to go to her channel. I would also like to thank Wally Games for doing the sound editing for the transformation sequence. He did an amazing job and I really appreciate the time and effort he put into it. Click the annotation to go to his channel. Both of these links will also be in the description. Roll the end card!
Top 10 favorite Pokemon. Go!
However, this is the story of the first time I said no. The first time I done stood up to the companies who took my money, who willed my cash from my hand in exchange for mediocre games. I said no. No.
And not only that, but also trying to follow both Santa and the alpaca when they're separated, have my eyes going crazy in an attempt to follow them. Other than that, this is a fun little game that goes to show that we all have an inner alpaca in all of us.
What should I do next? I suppose it's Christmas soon, so I should probably take a break. I will try and get another video out by the end of the year, but you know, old habits die hard.